Utah Tech come into Colorado Springs and Clune Arena, get a 73-70 victory over the hometown United States Air Force Academy Falcons. We welcome you in courtside. Roland Vargas, Rachel Galligan. Rachel, 54% from the field for Utah Tech. They really ramped things up in that second half especially.
Yeah, and they came out from the gate. And I think if you had to really pinpoint an aspect of this game that was the difference maker, I think it was the way Utah Tech came out the second half. And the way the Falcons came out, they were really flat. Utah Tech ended up going on that run, 8-0 run, I think it was, to start the second frame. And Falcons just, weren't really able to get the same stops they were getting the first half. They struggled offensively. I think you have to give a lot of credit to the Trailblazers and what they did defensively and offensively. Warren was phenomenal. I mean, I felt like they really struggled Falcons really struggled to stop her, in the full court. She was so good down the stretch. Their execution was really good. And, this was a close one. And so in games like this, you have to look at spurts that really, really hurt. In the Falcons, 7 turnovers that third quarter, I think, is the biggest difference maker in this game.
Yeah, those turnovers really started to ramp up from an Air Force perspective right at the beginning of that second half. We'll take a look at the tail of the tape. Air Force still edging that margin. 15 turnovers for the Falcons, 19 for the Trailblazers of Utah Tech. That field goal percentage, Air Force was leading in that category throughout the entire first half. Really dropped off, though, in the second. Yeah,
third quarter, Falcons shot just 25%. And another area that I think was the points off turnovers that Utah Tech was able to capitalize. At halftime, they only had 6. They finished the game with 19. And you're giving up that many possessions and empty possessions for the Falcons. I mean, and then struggling to kind of connect offensively. I think that was just really good adjustments and execution in the second half by Utah Tech. You look at the rebounding numbers, Falcons were able to out-rebound them. That was a bright spot. But let's take a look at some of these highlights. We talked about Warren and how good she was. 29 points. An efficient 12 of 16 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line.
Yeah, she was absolutely remarkable in this basketball game. Gillen had 20 as well for Utah Tech. They really relied on those 2 scores. Air Force doing all they could in that second half. We saw a good performance from Milani Perry. Air Force leading the way was Kayla Pilson. She had 21. Camry Heath chipped in with 13. Nikki McDonald had 9 as well. Air Force made a lot of changes in that basketball game. We're continually rotating subs in and out. Pilson, again, like I said, 21 to lead Air Force on 9 of 14 from the field, but it was all about Macy Warren. You mentioned it, 29 points for her. She was absolutely unstoppable. There's that last 3 that Air Force drew up after that long stoppage we had with just 3.4 seconds left for Air Force to tie the basketball game up, just not able to do that.
Yeah, you had an opportunity, and I think there's a few things that Coach Gobrecht's talking to her team about. Again, still a really young team in aspects. This is a learning opportunity of things that you can shore up, not just offensively in your offensive execution. I think they were challenged in a new way tonight by Utah Tech, but defensively, really, especially off the dribble drives and some of their backside rotations.
It'll be a bit of a break now for the Air Force Falcons. They've got finals week coming up next. We won't see Air Force in action again until December 17th, when they'll play in Evanston against the Wildcats of Northwestern. Well, for our entire Falcon Vision crew and my broadcast partner, Rachel Galligan, I'm Roland Vargas. Utah Tech come into Clune Arena in Colorado Springs, walk out with a 73-70 victory over the Air Force Falcons.